Living life seeking answers to the many problems that continue to evolve? Whether it's about business, money, relationships, family, or anything, let's talk. Join Alan Cousin of getupradio Media as he talks about anything and everything that the mind can come up with. His motto is, you can't find a solution until you talk about it first. Ready to be informed about life and feel positive daily? Then come listen to Let's Talk with Alan Cousin and get up as a positive new you.
Hello out there. Happy Tuesday. How are you, ladies and gentlemen? How are you doing? Yeah. How you doing? Hello. Yeah. How you doing? Thank you. This is Alan Cousin, of course, host of Let's Talk. Today is Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. We're moving swiftly into the summer, I see, right? And trust me, Texas is letting me know with the 84 degrees that we currently have out here. But hey, it's Texas. 84 actually is much better than normal, so I won't complain. So what do we have to talk about? Let's talk. Well, this weekend was great. How about yours? I thoroughly enjoyed my weekend with my girl, Ella. Ella B. I'll call her Ella B. But Ella B, oh, it was so great. We went to Houston for the weekend. Stayed there at the Sheraton, which was actually nice. Sheraton Hollowbrook. And I must say the staff was very nice. We stayed at the concierge level. We actually had a concierge lounge that we can go to get snacks and juices. Went out to eat, of course. Went to go see a movie called Nefarious. Let me tell you, it's a good one. If you want to see a great movie that's going to make you think and make you go, especially with the spiritualism going on right now, the Nefarious is a thing you want to see. I highly recommend it, and I'm pretty sure Rotten Tomatoes is going to highly recommend it as well. But yes, this weekend was great. I thoroughly enjoyed. But I want to talk about my last show, because my last show was quite interesting. Interesting indeed. The reason being is because I was particularly speaking about the Matrix and giving you different formats and thoughts about how the Matrix exists and how it is alive. And surprisingly, as I was talking about it, all of a sudden, our server disconnected. Like literally, it disconnected, like shut down. Interesting when you think about it. Here I am telling you about the different forms of the Matrix and how it exists, and surprisingly, all of a sudden, our computer server shuts down and doesn't allow me to continue the show. Interesting indeed. So my apologies, as you probably, if you did hear the last show, you noticed that we were abruptly cut off and never came back on. And that is the reason why, because like I said, our server completely shut down. Therefore, we were not able to even come back on to apologize or even continue the show. Makes you wonder. But to speak more on that Matrix that I talk about and how it's real and definitely out there, you know, people don't realize that our thought process, our pattern of thinking, our pattern of how we live, our pattern of how we eat, our pattern of how we drink, how we dress, it's all that. It's a pattern. It's something that is programmed into our minds methodically because we are told how to dress. We are told what to wear. We are told what is right, what is wrong. We are told the systematic laws of what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to obey. And some of us do. Majority of us do. But then there's those minority few that says, no, I'm going to ask questions. No, I'm going to ask why. No, I choose to do it my way, and therefore I shall not follow your way. And of course, some of those people, because of that choice, are then punished, disciplined, scrutinized, or even blackwalled, or blacklisted, or ousted from the society because they are not, quote-unquote, following the pattern of what society has taught. Therefore, they are not obeying the laws that society has given. Yet there are some people out there that once they break the pattern and they are not ousted by society, become very well off, become very influential, very rich and powerful. Therefore, they no longer have to follow the rules or follow the laws. Instead, they help to create the rules and to create the laws, because now they are above the law, so to speak, because of how much power and influence they have. Isn't it interesting when you think about that? Power and influence. Such critical words, but very, very, very important words in today's society. Because the more influential we are, the more powerful you become. And the more powerful you become, the more things that you can do and the more things you can get away with. But yet the question is, how do you get to that point? How do you get invited or be able to put yourself through that door and push through that wall to be able to become part of the other side, therefore being the elite, influential, and powerful, and no longer being the ones that follow the elite, influential, and powerful? I mean, you could become a celebrity, of course, but then again, that's many, many people out there, much competition, thousands of others trying to do the same thing you're trying to do to get noticed by others publicly and be famed because of your notice, to the point where you're offered contractual rights and agreements to then become, quote-unquote, a celebrity. I mean, celebrities are those that are, yes, very influential, very well-known, always being looked upon, but yes, they are still human. And sometimes we forget as people how much and how human these people are. I give you an example. Jay-Z and Beyonce just bought a $200 million home in California. And this is a very large home to the point where it has its own museum and gallery, basically. And due to Jay-Z and Beyonce having a large extensive art collection, they felt it would be necessary to buy this home so that they can finally have a proper place for their art collection that would be securely safe, but at the same time could be noticed and publicly viewed to those that they invited to view their art collection. But $200 million, why would Jay-Z and Beyonce, who has millions, much less billions, spend $200 million on a home when they really already have homes already? Simply because of this. They're human. They're human, and being human, they want attention. And sometimes in order to gain attention, you have to do things, you have to create things, you have to act upon things so that others will read about it, see it, view it, and hear about it, to the point where they are still, quote-unquote, following you, therefore giving you a reaction for the action you created. The Matrix. Every action creates an equal and opposite reaction. Every action. That means anything I do right now should create an equal and opposite reaction. And it does. It may not do it at this specific moment, but it shall do something equal and opposite to what I've said by someone else out there in this huge, immense place called Earth. You really never think about how important your existence is. Yet you are told in many ways that your importance of existence is non-existent, because unless you're known by many, you're not important. But who's to say that your small existence cannot become large? Let's say one day you decide to get up and one day buy a gun and decide you want to go shoot up a large school. Now your existence has become quite important, because now there was a negative action. It has created a reaction of publicity and people knowing about you through the news outlets, to the point where now you have become popular, but in a negative way. But some people out there choose to be popular, whether it's positive or negative. Some people out there want to be noticed, want to be seen, want to be heard, and feel that they will do whatever it takes, even if it takes being a very evil, very negligent, very angry individual, as long as they get the opportunity to be known in history and never forgotten. For we never really think about, quote unquote, why the Matrix really does exist, or what we as humans really want out of life. And whether you know it or whether you don't know it, subconsciously or consciously, the truth of the matter is everyone wants to be known. Everyone wants to be, quote unquote, admired. But more so, everyone wants to be historical. And what do I mean by historical? Well, simply this. Historical means that no matter what, as history passes, you will be recognized, noted, and still remembered for something that you have done, whether it was the words that you have spoken or the actions that you have done, that others in history far, far now from today, years later, will still know of who you are, still recognize who you are, and still remember you. And that, my friend, is what history is all about. His story. Because they want to make sure that no matter what, when they die, that they are recognized, but more so, that they are remembered throughout history for whatever they have done. I.e., Obamacare. Why would you name it Obamacare? Unless you want to make sure that people ask, well, who was it that created it? Oh, President Obama. Well, therefore, by remembering that, you remember who? President Obama. Therefore, he's now become historical. You have to think about these things, about why certain laws have been created, why certain orders have been designated, why certain executive laws have been signed, because these things are not just to help manage, quote unquote, the laws of the earth and, of course, manage us as humans and individuals, but also it has been created to help create an historical pattern and a historical data line of individuals who want to remain, quote unquote, important throughout life and throughout history, because they indeed feel that they are important enough, and in some cases narcissistic enough, that they deserve for others to know of them years and decades and millennials later. Now, I myself, is this something that's granted that I need or desperately want? No, not really. If I'm remembered, that's great. But if I'm not, that's fine also. I myself, I'm just here to do one thing. Enjoy my life, enjoy what it has to offer me and bring me, but also enjoy basically the people that I tend to enjoy life with, and stay with them and have them stay with me as long as possible until either one of us or both of us shall pass away in slumber or death and move on to the next tier of life. So that's me. But there are people out there that want to be known. People out there that need to be known. People out there that need attention, desire attention, that gravitate only to those that will give them attention, to the point that they feel they are powerful, they are wanted, they are important, only because of others giving them the attention they need to desirably make them feel that important. I don't know if that's a curse or not. Or maybe a deadly disease even. That you need others to give you attention, to make you feel desired, loved, admired, and wanted. And that you cannot do it on your own. That you cannot importantly imagine just how important you are by yourself. You need others to make you feel that importance. A bit fearful if you think about it, that others out there cannot live without the desires of others wanting them, cheering them on, needing them, asking for their autographs. And yet, this is, once again, an aspect, a part of the matrix. Because, like I said, we are taught from the very beginning how we should act. What should we do? What things are immoral and what things are moral? What things are considered lawful and what things are considered unlawful? And we are told what we must do in order to, quote unquote, meet successful needs and become, in the future, successful. Yet there are a few of us that have changed that desire to do it their way and not follow the quote-unquote critical laws and ideas that was placed in their minds by their parents, their friends, their associates, the government, teachers, and others. Makes you wonder, A, where did this matrix start? How long has it been in place? And more so, will it ever end? Will it ever stop? Or will it just continue to grow to the point where it become more and more visual, more and more recognized, and then it'll just become reality by instinct? A question I can't answer. Maybe you can. But definitely a question we all want an answer to. I just don't know. To know that I'm sitting in a chair right now, but to know that this chair was named by someone who decided to call it a chair. They didn't call it an armoire or a arm snuggle or a wooden bench. They just called it a chair. And by calling it a chair, patenting the idea of the name chair, promoting the chair, selling the chair to others, so that others may then recognize it and constantly call it as well a chair, it finally became a chair. And then, by becoming a chair, and being that it was continually told as being a chair as generations passed, each and every generation saw it as a chair. Think about that. The things that you see and know, and that you name, are called those names not because you chose it, but because others did. And you followed others by continually to call it the name that it was created to be. I don't know if you're catching on yet, because I can't say much, unfortunately, being that I am part of a media global broadcasting, and that I am being listened to, watched, and I have rules that I must obey as well and abide by, FCC guidelines that I must definitely go by, but also contractual agreements that I have signed that have alluded that I can only say certain things to certain individuals about certain people, events, and places, and other things. But yet here I am on the radio, talking, speaking, indirectly giving you instances of situations to help you recognize and realize how real the Matrix is, but also maybe help you understand the Matrix just a little bit better, just to the point that you, yourself, will realize who you are in the Matrix, why you're in the Matrix, and how you could be in the Matrix, and if you can change yourself and or change the Matrix. Many people don't realize that it's taking a lot for this pattern to be created, this program to be assimilated, basically, so that others can become part of it and know it as instinct and as life, and not change it because they have been informed that life in itself cannot be changed. It's only supposed to be lived and learned. Yet, we're starting to slowly discover that life can be changed, and that we can live, learn, but also decide to do things, but also decide not to do things. And that if a majority of us decide not to do those certain things, then those certain things no longer become part of the life or the cult that we live, and no longer is in existence. For it's the amount of people that determine if things are done, but it's the minority that makes the judgment calls on what should be done, and the majority are those that simply are told that they must follow. Isn't it interesting if we were to change that, right? If we were to make it so that the majority make the decisions, rules, because therefore, if the majority are going to abide by those laws, wouldn't you think it would be proper if those majority would create the laws? But then it would be very distinctly upsetting and negative, and in some ways outrageous, because Unfortunately, there are very few of us that all look at the same situation as equal or obtainably want to do and live the same life. There are always someone out there that feels like they deserve better or deserve more, that they feel like they are a superior to others, and that they cannot live the life as others live because it is just quote unquote beneath them to do so. And that is why, because of pride, prejudice, racism, hatred, sexism, fascism, that we have the issues and the problems that we have, and how those problems are continuing to grow and manipulate itself to the point where it's now becoming an abundant negativity that we as humans and as the human race now cannot control, which fears everyone, because when will this control that now we cannot control become so unbearable that it would only spread to the point of such a negativity that it would destroy us all? A question we don't want to hear an answer to, and definitely something we don't want to see evolve and become into a reality. We must realize everything you see is not what it claims to be, and everything you hear is not exactly true. But you have the right to discover on your own. You have the right to discover what is true and what's not true. You have the right to investigate to a certain level. You have the right to question. You have the right to answer and speak your thoughts, your mind, and your opinion. For obtainably, freedom of speech is still clearly here for a moment, as they are trying their best to take it away, as well as many other things, to the point where we as humans will be non-existent and will only be here for one purpose only, to obey, and nothing more than that. A scary thought, indeed a scary thought, that I hope will never become the full measurement of what the reality of the United States and the world is today. We don't want such things as that, because we need to have chaos in a positive way, though, to the point where we have change, to the point where we have improvement, to the point where we have conversations of different thoughts and different patterns, which winds up working together to find a common solution. But yet, as time passes, as years go by and by, are we improving and becoming better? We would say so because of the technology advancements, but are we clearly improving because of the human kind and the humanity advancements of what we do as humans? That is a question that I hate to say will probably not be in the answer yes. Then we've discovered now that we finally have aliens that have traveled here. Confirmation that aliens do exist. Confirmation that there is indeed an alien at this moment in time who is working with the Pentagon to help with aerial confliction and convergence and helping us with air flight as far as the designs of planes and rockets. And that the alien has been here since as early as 1951. But yet we're told now, almost 70 years later. Why? Why had we been told almost 70 years later that aliens exist? What was the purpose and the given reason that they felt we could not, as human beings, as part of the human race, understand the situation, acknowledge the situation, and appreciate knowing the situation? A question that definitely deserves an answer, but an answer that I cannot give. 1 + 1 = 2, but yet in some dimension 1 + 1 = 3. You see black, I see brown. You see green, I see yellow. You see red, I see white. You see black, I see nothing. These are things that you must think about. These are things that you must, quote unquote, pay attention to. because things are changing in this world, changing immensely and quickly. We are seeing things of the religious context happening. We are seeing possible revelation events. We are seeing the Bible in itself become a reality through the actions of what's happening around us day by day. And we are seeing what was written in the Bible come to life in our reality. Because we as humans, unfortunately, have one failure. That is above all. We tend not to learn from our mistakes. And because of our pride, we tend not to admit it, that we were wrong and that we indeed made a mistake. How does that make you think? How does that make you feel to hear these things, to hear what I'm speaking of, and to know that confusion is placed among many, but the appreciation of that confusion will open doors for only the few who will then learn the knowledge they truly wanted to know in the beginning? I don't know. I don't know what to say to make you truly understand, or more so, truly believe me and trust me that the information that I'm given is qualifiably true. In fact, to know that there's so many secrets out there, to know that there are agencies and organizations hiding those secrets that are there to destroy us even, that are listening in on everything we say and do, and will do anything in its power to keep control that it has gained long ago, but refuses to release and let go of to this day. What do you say to that? Just the thought of saying, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm depressed, I'm excited. Words that were created to give actions that we deliver to let people know how we feel, to let people know how to treat us and to react to us, to let people know that we have existence. For existence is important, isn't it? How would you feel to be non-existent? How would you feel to know that nobody sees you, hears you, or even knows of you? Such loneliness. But yet there are some people out there that would not only enjoy it, but would care to have it every day and pray for it and desire it. Because there are people out there that need to be seen and loved and appreciated. And there are those out there that just simply want to be on their own and never have others even know they exist. Very, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. And our generations to come, are they going to follow in the footsteps in the past that we follow? Or are they going to change abruptly and start to say that they will do what they want and not do what they're told? It is truly something that we are thinking about, because as you notice, history does repeat itself to a certain degree. But at the same time, you will notice history does change in small remnants over time. What are you learning? Are you learning anything? Are you even listening? Are you even paying attention? That's the question that deserves an answer, that will let me know if indeed you're here because you seek knowledge to offer a change in your life and make a change in your life, and maybe find a way to be part of the elite and the powerful, because you feel that with the information gathered, you can utilize that to a certain sector or a certain level that will boost you among others to be recognized and seen, and therefore invited to become part of the group that makes the rules and not those that follow them. Truly something that everyone thinks about, whether they speak about it or not. but not something everybody wants to be part of or can be part of. The Matrix. What is the Matrix? Who is the Matrix? And where is the Matrix? And how was it formed and continues to grow? Answers that are being desired for me. I couldn't get back on because of how in depth I was talking about the Matrix my last show. Because I'm not talking as in depth as I was before. Because I'm hoping, of course, that by doing so, my server will not disconnect unsuspectedly to the point where we're not continually to do our show today. I guess what I'm trying to say is, open your eyes. And I'm not saying open them like you always do. No. Open your third eye. Open the ability to pay attention, to observe, to quote unquote think on the other side of your mind and utilize and captivate that you can see what really is and not just what everybody considers the norm. That you are seeing past the norm because you are paying attention for once, and you are seeing individuals for who they truly are, seeing events that are truly happening, and seeing outcomes that others, in most cases, totally miss. The who, what, how, when, and why. But the most important question of all is the why. Something to think about until our next show. Because truly, my friend, ladies and gentlemen, the Matrix is indeed real. And the Matrix is growing. And the Matrix is clarifying itself, improving itself, upgrading as we would say, to the point that once it's upgraded fully, may have no need or very little need of humans and humanity to be around. As technology will advance to such a storm, such a level, such a state, that it will feel that unless we are extremely helpful, that humans will be of no worth, because we won't be able to deliver the minimum accuracy of information that they will consider to be helpful. Something to think about is BT has cut 50,000 jobs due to AI, as Wendy's, Burger King, McDonald's currently has a productivity prototype of AI cooking hamburgers and fries, so that if it does go correct, they will only have people at the cashier to accept the food, to pass the food on and accept the money. Nothing more, nothing less. Look at the Walmart self-service and self-checkouts in Target, where now basically you have hardly any cashiers out there. And everyone has to basically understand computer technology to be able to check out themselves. Though it is simplistic and very simple, still there are those out there that don't understand information technology and information sciences as much as they need to be able to simply go in, do the quote-unquote program and go out. But yet, it is emerging. Technology is advancing, emerging, and moving forward, whether we want to allow it to do so or not, and it will not wait on us. It will continue to move forward, whether we move forward with it or not. Possibility of 24-hour stock markets. Currently, the market of stock is only from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but they are actually considering having it to the point where they will make it 24 hours, just like cryptocurrency, so you can trade in and trade out anytime you feel, anytime you wish. Oh, the changes that would happen if that was to occur. Because technically it is already 24 hours, because when the stock market closes here, it opens in China. So therefore, making it 24 hours will cause an importance and an increase. but not as much of an increase as you would suspect. The Matrix. Indeed, something to pay attention to, something to observe, more so something to want to open your eyes and your mind to, so that you can become part of it, understanding it, recognizing it, and learning from it, instead of just being one that is programmed by it and follows the rules it gives and nothing more. But we shall talk about this more when we talk again Thursday. Until then, remember, the Matrix is all around you and even inside you. But you must pay attention and you must wake up so that your dream finally becomes a reality. And always remember, you can't find a solution unless you talk about the problem first. And at this moment in time, many of us have problems. Many of us have problems that could have solutions if we were to simply communicate with each other and be open-minded and willing to find a credible solution. Are you one to have faith and work together? Or are you one to have fear and divide the nation? You think about that. Think about it wisely. Think about it long and hard. And just remember, the future affects everyone, even you. Have a good day.
Thank you for listening to Let's Talk with your host, Alan Cousin. If you have any questions that need answers or wish to be on the show, feel free to email us at letstalk@getupradio.com. And if you have a moment to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts, we'd really appreciate it. Remember to get up, smile, and live life positively, as you are an amazing person.